is long. The journey is long. The journey is long. The journey is long.
Om Amrite Shwarye Namaha. We'd like to invite everybody to just pause for a moment, take 30 seconds, close your eyes to breathe and center yourself and within this space. We invite you to keep your eyes closed as the next portion is going to be listening to a mantra by Amma. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. We want to let that sound wash all over you for about a minute. Om Amrite Shwarye Namaha. In your program is a printout of what Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu means. So for today's chapel, we wish to welcome you. We're going to talk about mantra and ritual and mantra, and then we're going to do a little twist on creating a mantra. We will invite you to write your own and then share it with another in a call and response pair share. And then we'll do a quick group sharing and then a blessing, and then you go out into the world and make it a better place.
Thank you for being here for this time of ritual and mantra. As many of you know, rituals have been part of history in every culture throughout time. They're used to create sacred space, to mark intentions, to gather people in. And rituals can ground us and help us to focus, help us to remember what it is that we or our loved ones or our community feel is important. Rituals can mark moments of clarity, help us set intentions, and help to provide time and space for reflection. So rituals oftentimes involve our bodies and movement, how we're sitting, how we're standing, whether we're moving. Rituals can involve sand and candles and fire and incense. They take many shapes and many forms depending on who you are as a person, what your experiences have been, who your family and community are, and what you have at your disposal for ritual. So today, this experience will serve as a ritual to connect more deeply with our personal values and intentions through creating a mantra. So we'll see explanation of mantra.
I was just attracted to the vibration of what these chants emanate.
Om Suvaha Om Janaha Om Tapaha Om Satyam.
The actual word is mantra, which is a Sanskrit word. And what is a mantra? A mantra is a combination of sound syllables that come together. And these sound syllables, and every sound syllable has a power and has a vibration. And then when these combinations come together, certain combinations create certain effects. These mantras were heard by rishis in their meditation. So it's not something that was written by somebody, but it was actually heard and received on an intuitive plane. And that's what makes it really interesting. It was passed on over centuries because they carried a certain intonation, they carried a certain pronunciation, they carried a certain strength, and this was passed on orally. These Vedas, they carried hidden messages or truths and knowledge that was, why I say hidden is that they were actually behind the words. So when you see a Sanskrit mantra and literally translate it, there is one meaning that you arrive at. But in reality, the meaning of that mantra is deeper than the physical meaning of the Sanskrit words. So when one progresses on the path, one perceives differently. And so when you begin to perceive differently, those words literally become symbols to deeper truths that are actually hidden behind those words. And so this was a way that they also preserved this divine knowledge, and it was passed on.
The human voice can.
So that's really a lot in a very small amount of time. And the idea of mantra is something that comes out of a specific tradition, but it is not something that other traditions we're not familiar with. I had the Serenity Prayer for years. I would say the Serenity Prayer in my mind over and over and over and over again. My introduction, I was sitting here staring at the candles and I was thinking, this moment has taken 30 years. It took 30 years to get to this moment right here. I met my first guru in Hawaii. She was beautiful, young, charismatic. I didn't meet her in person. I would just go down to the ashram and do the practices. She was Guru Maya Chivilasananda. She's the leader of the Siddha Yoga tradition. And it just blew my mind. It really opened new doors for me. Years later, I was just sitting out. I used to smoke cigarettes. And smoking a cigarette, drinking a coffee. There was some 17, 18-year-old sitting next to me on the bench, and she just said, hey, out of nowhere, we had no context. She said, hey, this hugging saint is in town. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said it again, and I said, oh, what's that? And she started to tell me about this woman, Mama. The next day, I was sitting waiting for a meeting to start, and someone walking in said, oh yeah, that hugging saint's in town. So after the meeting, I got on the train, and I went, and I met and I think her full title is Mata Amritanandamaya Devi. And she is the embodiment of the Divine Mother. It is a mind-blowing experience. And in both traditions, the thing that really got me is it didn't get me to my crown as king of the world, but it got me deeply, deeply into service. And if you Google Amma, you will see a woman whose life she has hugged in the course of her lifetime over 40 million people. When I was there the first time, over 20 years ago, I couldn't believe the variety of people in the audience. Sick, well, old, young, white, black, Asian, people on a hospital bed. There were people in wheelchairs. And everybody got the exact same embrace from Amma. And so I am so honored to have this moment to honor all that has been given to me. Amma gave me a mantra that connected me to her. It's a personal mantra. And a lot of mantras you hear are kind of shared mantras. Amma kind of broke tradition a little bit, where the guru would normally not give you a mantra unless you were ready. And Amma, out of compassion, gave one to whoever asked for one. And she also gave me a spiritual name, which is Avinash. I don't use it much, but that was a whole nother 2-minute talk. And so I wanted to share my personal experience of how it has changed my life, how it has calmed me down, how it has kept me centered, just using this thing called mantra.
Thank you, Michael. You'll notice that on your chair there's a piece of paper and a writing implement that I'll invite you, if you'd like to pick up now. This is a time for you to think about a personal mantra that you might write for yourself. And what you might think about is, what is something that you most need to hear or be reminded of? Think about the words, the syllables, the sounds that are calling to you, that resonate with you, that help bring you life. Is there an intention that you'd like to carry with you? Is there a truth that you'd like to carry, or a reminder that you would need to hear regularly? What phrase word or phrase helps you to feel connected to your own sense of faith or belonging or purpose. So we'll give you a couple of minutes just to, you could close your eyes if you'd like to see what comes to you. You could write a few words and see if there's a mantra that comes to you, a word or phrase that you'd like to write down. We invite you to a few moments of silence, reflecting and writing. Maybe take another 30 seconds if you're just finishing up writing down your words, your phrase, thinking about the sounds and syllables that speak to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to Michael and Laura for everything that you've guided thus far. Now we are going to move into the ritual action that Michael so graciously alluded to earlier. This is supposed to be a pair-sharing ritual that is intended to help each of us solidify our personal mantras. And so what we're going to do is we are going to turn to someone close to us. We invite you to share your mantra with each other and actively listen. Yeah, Michael and Laura are going to give you a demonstration.
Okay, this is my mantra. Peace is within reach.
Peace is within reach. Mine is, I am the divine manifestation of Michael, known as Michael.
I am the divine manifestation known as Michael.
Thank you both. And so, yes, we invite you into this practice of active listening and sharing with each other. And this is intended to help you not only solidify your personal mantra, but also feel a sense of shared support and affirmation. And so, whoever is near you, if there is a chance that there isn't someone directly next to you, just make a quick bridge, however you see fit. And we'll give you about 5 minutes for that, and then we're going to move into an optional group share So if any of you feel called to share with everyone, please do.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Do you think, since it just took us a short time to do that, do you think people would change to another pair and share? Kind of rotate and do In 1 minute, I'll give them a minute. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, you're right. This gives people a nice chance to connect. They don't have to do it. They'll just sit in this space. It opens conversation. Yeah, I think that's nice. We have just about 1 minute left before we go into group sharing. And so I invite you to start to close out your conversations or ritual action. We have just a few minutes left now. And so before we go into our closing centering mantra practice, we want to invite anyone who feels called to share your mantra with the group. And we can pass around mics to make things a little bit more comfortable and more accessible.
Share or your experience.
Should we share it and have people repeat it similarly, or just sharing it?
Well, this is you can share your mantra, you can repeat it, or you can share what your experience was of this practice.
Sure, I'll just sing it out loud. I was inspired by these beautiful sounds that we came into, and then the mantra that was going on during the video, and that melody really entranced me. And so this was inspired by that, and inspired by some of the things going on in my life right now. Beam past negativity. Choose no sides but equanimity. Divine presence, patience, power leads you to love and peace. Om.
Thank you, Christian. That was beautiful.
My partner was Aaron, and we had a beautiful experience earlier from class, and I was talking about my birthday, and Job had come to me, and Job 3:3 is when he cursed the day of his birth, and I've had multiple losses on my birthday. So we were talking, and he shared his personal mantra, and I had one that I was saying. I have a Sanskrit. I work with the fire element, so I'm into this stuff. So I was saying that, but what came to me after Aaron shared his was every step of the journey is the journey, which is a beautiful Zen proverb that I was introduced to when I was led to this Buddhist center. And I was sharing with Aaron because he's going to Florida on Monday. I said, you have to go to this Buddhist monastery. And there's a 32-foot statue of Avalokitesvara that was erected on my birthday. So talk about transmutation. It shifted from cursing the day of my birth to being grateful that beautiful things happen on the day of my birth too. So thank you, Aaron. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you both.
Thanks.
We have time for maybe one more share if anyone feels called. No? That's okay. Okay, so now we are going to invite you into our closing practice, which is a centering practice. So I invite you to close your eyes or bow your head. You can also just invite some heaviness into your eyelids. Take a few deep breaths. And just draw your attention inward. We invite you now to repeat your personal mantra silently. As you take your deep breaths. And Michael will guide our closing blessing.
As we close out, I would just like to remind us as we walk from this place out into the world that there is no place any of us could ever be where the divine, God, Allah, whatever you call sacred, is not. I am. I am. I am. And if you will, repeat after me Amma's prayer for peace for all beings. Om. You can say Om.
Om
Loka.
Loka
Samasta.
Samasa
Sukhino.
Sukhino
Bhavantu.
Bhavantu.
May all beings be happy and at peace. Ashe.
May all beings be happy and at peace.
I am
And thank you to the chapel team for your wonderful work and all the technical details setting this up. And to Laura and Taylor for your amazing strength. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for this award.
Thank you to each of you for coming and showing up fully as yourselves.
Thank you all for coming. Just as a reminder, it's reading week next week, so there's no chapel, but join us again come December.